to see how women work. Women work off of emotions. Here's a good example. She feels that I'm basically, having an attitude. And so now our conversation is going to be very difficult now, but
No,
I
it's
think I'm
not.
I think I'm good enough to work through this. Okay. So let's try this one more time. Who are you? And please introduce yourself. Tell people what we're doing here.
I am Vilma Bellini, and we're doing a podcast on communication and different issues like racism, beauty industry, men and women, sex, and more.
Okay. So go ahead and ask me your first question, and let's go ahead and see if we can plow through this and come up with something of substance.
Okay. What makes a woman a high value woman?
What makes a woman a high value woman? And let me define how high value. High value is in high demand. Someone that is very sought after, someone that is at the top of the food chain and what everybody wants. A high value woman, from my perspective, is going to be a woman who is that has a lot of empathy. She has a lot of women that want to be her. She has a lot of women coming to her asking her for all types of advice. She has no fear. She can, she's soft. She's very intellectual, but she's not a pushover. She can speak her mind, and she's also a woman who can understand what she wants in a man, and she can add value to who he is. And
How?
she can add value to him by understanding, first of all, a very sought after woman needs a very sought after man, because if she gets something lower than that under her standards, it will become, it just doesn't work. A high value man, what he sees as basically, something that is very desirable, he sees a woman that is going to understand him, enhance what he does. She's not going to have a high body count. She's probably not going to have any children. And she's probably going to be somewhere around the 25 to 32, age range is where she's going to be. And why, might you ask? A woman who has dedicated her life to trying to be successful financially, house, the car, and being self-sufficient. Those are the things that men look out for. Men want these things, and that's a very masculine approach. And men don't care how much a woman makes. That's a woman's perspective. How do you feel about that?
I agree. I agree. I don't know what to say. I'm blank. We can go to the next question if you have nothing else, but maybe I'll pick up somewhere. But I really, honestly, have nothing on this topic. Not because I'm like, agitated or anything.
Mm-hmm. So let's go to
Really
the next
good.
question.
Okay. Okay. So, one of these topics I have is women are delusional. Women dream, guys do. Women live in possibilities, and men live in probabilities. And we see a lot of that in possibly fantasizing, speaking in, not realistic terms.
You lost me on that one. Let me see if I can translate that. Men deal with
Probabilities.
realistic situations where women are dreamers. They live.
Yeah.
It could be this. It could be that. A lot of um, fictitious situations, and they build fictitious stories and they live by them. Whereas men are looking for, substance more. They want things to be a reality and not a possibility, I guess, right?
I don't know. I don't even know why I wrote that question. I can't remember what it meant to me when I wrote it.
Why is this difficult now for us to speak? Explain that.
I don't know, baby. You're good at it. You explain. You tell me what happened.
We are trying to put together a interesting podcast with different perspectives and points of view, and we are failing miserably right now at it. Why?
I don't know. We have to rush. We have to be somewhere. I can't relax. It's a long time to prepare for this. I'm getting tired. Getting over and over, not accomplishing anything. And
Why do we not accomplish things?
I don't know. We're both unhappy now.
Here's what I feel. Right now, I can't do this.
You can do what?
I can't.
So now you're blaming me.
I'm frustrated, I guess. I'm not blaming you.
I could see you're frustrated. That's why I was asking you why you're frustrated.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Communication is a very difficult thing. Communication is ran by emotions. And if emotions are not there, it makes it very difficult to translate a train of thought. And I'm going to try to push through this at the moment. My partner and I, we try to put something together, and I'm going to basically record my assessment of what happened. And she can jump in here if she feels so. If she feels that she has something to add to this from her perspective. We've seen several different shows here in the past 3 to 4 months, and these podcast shows have been about, different perspectives between man and woman. And one thing that I go through quite a bit is, for example, I feel like I get triggered by certain actions, and then my triggered reaction also receives a like response. And it's very difficult to actually overcome that. We start off the day and we have all these ideas early in the morning that we're going to do something. And I get I get things like, I got, we're building a studio, so I go ahead and start putting that together. We have an invoice that we need to put together for a couple of different clients. I have images that I have to edit, So in my mind, I have all these things in my head, and I can't give a definite time of when that is going to actually transpire. But I am pushed to answer a definite time, and I know if
You
I
told
don't
me to start getting ready in the
I
morning.
know if that time, if I don't hit that time, what's going to happen is everything is going to fall apart. So today, we had a list of things that we wanted to talk about, and it's late in the day, and it didn't happen at the time that that my partner wanted it to happen. So I get a little bit antsy, and I prejudge the situation, and I get this nasty attitude as well. But I guess what I'm looking for, what I'm hoping for is that I get some empathy to help me push through that. But it always ends up at this point whenever we start something for some reason, and I am desperately looking for solutions to overcome that, because we lock up, she can't speak anymore, she doesn't want to participate, and
You're the one who cut it off.
we lose.
Oh my God.
We lose.
Liar.
Come over here and say that.
No.
And so, and what happens is that,
Done with the podcast.
I say, okay, who are you? Vilma. Because you're pissed off. I'm trying to move forward, and I'm like, please help me.
That's not because I was pissed off. I was trying to be as kind as possible.
So, and but before that, when we started, it was, hey, I'm Vilma Bellini. We're doing this podcast, and
because you already got that part.
And I erased everything.
I didn't know that. You said it stopped recording. I didn't know you erased it.
So what happens is that in my situation, here's a good situation. Hopefully the sound is picking up in the background. She can speak back there. The thing is that we are trying to push a podcast, and if I try to pull to take charge and say, okay, let's go ahead and push through this, I get a lot of pushback, like, well, you're pissed off, so I don't want to do it either. I'm like, well, come on, let's work through this. Let's sit down. And I get pushback, and we always end up at this breaking point at the end of the day where we can't move forward.
You cut it off.
And
you lying. You cut it off. You said, I'm done. You
so
lying
I'm gonna
that
go
I
ahead and
didn't push through.
I have the recording.
I was sitting pushing through. And you cut it off. You said, we're done.
I have the recording.
And I asked you, I said, so we're done? Yeah, we're done.
I have the recording of me asking her
This is
name.
the last podcast ever.
And I have the recording of her basically saying, Vilma. I'm like, please. She didn't answer it the same way, because now she's operating out of her emotions at this point. And this is the thing, this is that Karen thing that I'm speaking about, is because, their feelings get hurt, and then everything has to go around what they believe. And this is something that I really, really want to talk about, is because, this is something that I overcome. I want to push forward, but when that wave comes in, there's nothing I can do. I'm here by myself, speaking on the camera right now, and if I say, hey, come over here and join me, it won't happen. But it's going to be my fault. It's going to be my fault, So I'm just going to have to try to plow through this and come up with, different topics, because my topics always end, in situations like this. So, being heard is very important, regardless of the attitude, the situation, someone having empathy and being able to, say, you know what, I'm going to put my feelings aside. I want to work with this person, and I want to, help them out. This is a very good way to, I believe, to overcome, roadblocks like we're having right now. Normally I wouldn't record things like that, but, I need this to reference, to go back and maybe play this again when she's in a better mood. But my thing is that we shouldn't have to wait until she gets in a better mood. We should be able to go ahead and move forward and speak intelligently about something if we all want the desired.
Exactly, we should have. Then you should have cut it short and said, we're done. I was there, you lying.
So.
And you have a recording of you lying.
So now, what's happening now is she's trying to make herself feel better, in this situation. So why don't you come over here and defend yourself? So this is what I'm talking about. When I talk about, an individual not really allowing another person's value or another person's opinion to be heard, I'm trying to express my feelings. I really want to push through this, and I have no one to speak to at this moment. The person runs off. I'm being called a liar. I'm being, not heard, and I want to be heard. So, it is my goal now to try to figure out, how to overcome this, how to help my partner understand that this is something very important to me, that emotions, I can't be blamed for situations like this. Yes, I can be blamed, but, you have to be able to work through them. And so I would like to try this again over and over again, and we'll see how this works. Thanks a lot.